Coming up, we have Sebnem Rusitschka. Rusitschka. Yes. She is a founding researcher at Filio, Tokens and Technologies at the Sun Protocol, lead at the Energy Committee German Blockchain Association, yes. And here with us today to talk about the different, let's see here, monetizing commons and communities via virtual commodities.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. So I'm going to take you right up the down the rabbit holes with me. Okay, so brace yourselves. And it's going to be quite interesting ride. So, okay, 1 second. Okay. So I'm going to talk about virtual commodities and what those can be used for. And if we ask ourselves, what is a virtual commodity? You're not alone. It just said that Bitcoin is a virtual commodity. And you know what? Energy is a commodity, and if you tokenize it, you get virtual commodity as well. And virtual commodities are neither a duck or a rabbit. They're neither a utility token or a security token. They're both. And a virtual commodity is actually a means of exchange. So I don't know how many of you have followed this whole craziness of security versus utility tokens? A few. How many of you are interested in energy? Wow. Very good. So this is, I think this is the most exciting thing that I discovered. I'm in energy, in decentralized energy systems for over a decade now. I'm a peer-to-peer computer scientist. And I just discovered this 2 months ago. And I'm into blockchain for over 18 months. So just, you know, at the end of this talk, or you will know less, okay? And I hope you will have just opened up also for discovering other perspectives, because this is all about what blockchain brings into our lives and into the businesses. And I hope you're going to think about how one can use virtual commodities to actually monetize commons and communities. And I'm going to share that along the change I had in my perspectives. That's how I started. I was very much into power systems data analysis when I was working in applied research at Siemens. And it was going great, and all we needed was lots of data. And there were a lot of trends coming to maturity, and blockchain was just one of them. The most important one was that solar rooftop prices were plummeting. And that's the market I saw, where we can get lots of data to train our models and create adaptive. A model that understands power systems, maybe in 10 years. So that was the vision, and we started building a small app. And forget about that story, but this is my perspective, how I entered the space. And blockchain was so easy. You know, we're just going to use it for bookkeeping and monetizing this whole thing, but what we're actually doing is optimizing the energy resources inside the buildings. And these tokens are just going to help us to make that value visible, and Adaptive is going to optimize this revenue, okay? So that was the business model. I still had to think about all of the regulators, the system, the grid has to work. It was getting a mess. I went into, you know, from corporate politics outside, down into real politics with the German Blockchain Association, because you need to talk to the regulators if you're doing this, not just in crypto space, but really in meat space, in cyber-physical systems. But then something happened. I followed the white rabbit. No, seriously, when you think about tokens, something happens, and all of a sudden, you stop worrying about the system, but start loving the node. And that's fun, because then you don't have to worry about all of the stakeholders so much anymore. You have to keep them, you have to keep their incentives in mind, but you have now this node. And this node is a smart property, and these tokens are actually its smart contracts, okay? It has a solar rooftop, and every megawatt hour earns it a solar coin. when its users are energy efficient, they earn energy tokens, okay? And those tokens are already being exchanged on crypto exchanges, so they have value. It's, you know, it's something new that the regulators have to deal with, but they have no say about it. And also this building has lots of interesting data, not just interesting for the energy sector, but also in other sectors. So if you have algorithms running there, they can create forecasts that are valuable, and with smart contracts, we can program this ownership. We can program how the revenue share is going to be distributed, and all of a sudden, I have something with which I can incentivize all of the stakeholders. The owner who's going to invest into all of the solar rooftops, etc., the installers, the maintainers, and also the user who needs to be also incentivized. So that's the mindset. But still, let me take you back to what is virtual commodity, what is a virtual good. Virtual goods, we know what can happen with them. You know, a digital sword in World of Warcraft is worth real money. Okay, people get that. There is a virtual economy. And then there is virtual commodity, a bunch of text no one gets. Yeah, but actually I got something there what I understood. Namely, and every time you see this duck rabbit, it's when I want you to switch your perspectives as well. So it says, Bitcoin is a virtual commodity in the same class like energy. And all of a sudden I go like energy? Can we virtualize it as well? Like the stuff I was trying to do? Okay, what do we get then? So we have this property and its usage, and it's a commodity, okay? So if I have the property, its usage, and I have data about the usage, I can tokenize that. Do I already have a virtual commodity? Almost. I just need a means of exchange. So if I have the commodity, I have data about its usage, and I'm going to tokenize it, and if I get a means of exchanging it, I do have something I can pay for stuff. And that's exciting. And then something else happened. Like, I saw that I was talking about property and usage all the time, and then actually what matters, it's not neither property nor usage, but the data about it. And that's an important mindset as well. So I see that it's a little bit mixed. I'm sorry about the formatting. I don't know what happened. Bear with me. But let me now explain you quickly how this virtual commodity is going to be created and get into circulation, okay? So we have this property. It has owners. Owners fund the property. Users use the property. They pay for the usage. And there are a bunch of people who have to work to make this property maintained and build it and so on and so forth. So if we have smart contracts, we can have reward tokens. Like the owners get a payout, the users get a reward for using this building efficiently or the way it should be used, and the workers get a paycheck reward token, okay? So that's good, that's good. And now the duck rabbit comes again. Like we have the owners. Then when we're talking about this, we have security tokens, bad, you have to do almost an IPO. And we have the users, they're like, I'm just interested in the usage, it's a utility token. But we have all of it at once, like it's the duck rabbit thing. And now, I come with programming incentives, I come with programming ownerships, and now watch out, it's a trick. The security token just vanished. So, if we can manage that, if I can outsource ownership to a bunch of smart contracts, and I have a fully automated system, and the energy systems are not there yet, but technical possibility is there. And there are a bunch of people like me who want to make it happen. So if we have that, we can have efficiently run systems incentivized by token. No one has to own them, a commons infrastructure, without the tragedy of commons, because we have the monetization of it. So I just want to give you a few food pieces of thought. So this is what a paradigm shift is, okay? Presented with the same set of information, you see two different things. That's where we are at. That's also the definition of paradigm shift. We are right in the middle, okay? The normal stuff is being discussed, you can't do it like that, business is not done like that, electricity is physical, don't mess with it. But at the same time, we have the start of the new normal. Like, people really see a lot of anomalies in the old system and say like, but we have something new, and we guess it's a better system if we apply it to these anomalies. And what kind of anomaly? You mentioned it already. We have a bunch of people coming up who do not care about ownership, okay? They just want to have access and usage. And we have, alone in Africa, 600 million people who just want to have access to electricity, to information, to payment system. And they can have it in one container. So this is one of the newest projects. And I really love it because it's going to give us radical empiricism. We're not going to just discuss about is it possible or not. We're just going to apply it. We will have a bunch of data. We will apply the incentive mechanisms. And that's an interesting thing. We now can program incentives, but do we know what we want? Like, this productivity and growth was great when I was going up like this, but if you start depleting resources, it's not fun anymore. So what is the next thing? What is the thing we should optimize for other than growth? Like, in the developing countries, it will be, in the beginning, also very helpful. That's part of the token model, that you reward optimal use of solar power and then create a virtual commodity that they can also use as a means of exchange for the goods and services that they have in their villages. And you can connect villages by connecting their commercial exchange. And it's going to be a huge experimentation and learning field, also for the crypto community. And with that, I just hope, I just got you a bit excited about changing perspectives. And I keep falling down many, many rabbit holes. It's the new normal. I'm not surprised that in 2 months I will understand more. So don't be shy about if you don't have the background of monetary policy. You need it to tokenize. But don't be afraid. We are a huge community with many different perspectives, very open. We're discussing, we're exchanging, we're learning together. And that's a great thing to have. And that's where our innovative power comes from. So thank you, and I will leave it at that.